Good morning, Elevation students, and welcome to week 5. We are 1 week out from our Thanksgiving break. Stay strong. Alrighty, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our pacing guide for week 5 and a look at those lessons that we have for learning more about the periodic table. When you go to your pacing guide, as a reminder, of course, we have class this morning at 11 or 12:30. I look forward to seeing you there. At the end of class, we're doing a little extra credit Jeopardy review, so I sure hope that you'll come to get that extra bonus opportunity. After class, I'd like for you to go ahead and to review a little bit more about these Bohr models. When you click on this link, it will take you to a play posit, which is similar to what you did last week. This time, I'm actually set it up as just a practice. So it does not count for points, which you'll see 0 points up here. That's on purpose. And basically what you're going to do is just watch this video. It's very short. It's only about 5 or so minutes. And as you go through it, it will stop and ask you questions to make sure you're understanding them. So I'll go ahead and stop that there. But this gentleman goes through and does a really nice job of reviewing those big ideas that we're talking about in class. It's also great for some reason if you can't attend class, you have a chance to have someone talking over those big ideas for you. All right, if we go back to our pacing guide, we're going to go ahead and move on to Wednesday's assignment. And this is just written up as a lesson. And what that means is as we go to this, you'll notice that it's not for points to be earned for completing it, but rather a chance for you to read through. So here's just another way for materials presented to you. And so we're basically looking at these images again. In this case, we're looking at a nitrogen atom. You'll see images like that in our VC. But let's take a look at this atom model and see what we can understand about protons, electrons, and neutrons. Our big focus this week is going to be valence electrons. Those are the electrons on the outside, and those are the ones that are most important when we talk about how different elements combine to form compounds, which we'll spend our second semester studying that in great detail. So this gives you a chance to go through some practice questions with the answers, and then some images here that we've actually taken from Florida Virtual. Florida Virtual wasn't as comprehensive and specific to what we hope for this week, so you won't see a lesson like that. Instead, you have a lesson that's written up by your chemistry teachers. We then go through and do some more practice problems with that model. And you'll see some more of them. And then, of course, we have another opportunity to look at some different trends that we see when we compare hydrogen to helium and some other elements. All right, so that's your chance to look at those. And again, take some good notes for sure, because that's going to help you as we move into our lesson. Our test at the end of the week. So we're going to do a periodic table test at the very end of the week to wrap up all the work we've been doing on the periodic table. All right, Thursday is your first assignment for points. You'll notice that your points this week are only coming from Thursday and from Friday. And so if we go to this assignment for the Bohr model, again, it will ask you to make sure you've completed your other things first, which has been assigned for Tuesday. You're going to click on this. And when it does, it will ask you to make a copy. There we go. So you'll make a copy to this. And what you're going to be doing is actually drawing your Bohr models. So there's an example that's done for you so you can see. So here's a sodium atom that loses 1 electron. So I draw my element in the middle. My sodium symbol is A. And then I look at and I say, well, using the periodic table, sodium has 11 protons. But I know that this one's lost 1 electron. So that means I only have 10 electrons. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting my electrons around in my orbits using the Bohr model. Again, Bohr model's not perfect, but it's great for a concrete drawing. You can either draw this with your computer, you could just print this out and draw it on the sheet. You could just do a sheet of paper without printing anything out and just take a picture and upload it as your assignment. You'll see as I walk through this, there's always 2 electrons in the very first orbit, and then there's going to be 8 in the subsequent ones. In this case, there's 10 electrons, so I've got my 2, and then I've got the other 8, give me a total of 10. My charge is +1 because I have an extra proton, and I also have 8 valence electrons. 8 is the number of electrons in the outermost layer. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to look at these 10 different examples of atoms and fill in these 4 pieces and their drawing. Again, you don't have to print it out, but you can just draw it on a plain sheet of paper and upload it. Just make sure you upload all 10 of them. You'll see in the rubric, if we go back to it, you'll see that I have actually put your timepiece, but then also the questions and the diagram, questions in the diagram. So you'll see the rubric that's for each question. It seems long, but that's just because I put all 10 of them in here. So when you get that feedback, you know exactly where you have made a mistake if you want to go back and earn more points. All right, and then to finish this out for the week, of course, we do have that test. that wraps up us for our periodic table. So the periodic table test is 50 points. So a good number of points this week, 74. There's also a Jeopardy review, and that's the one that we're going to be doing in class, but you have a chance to go back and do it again as many times as you want to. Just think there's about 12 or so fun questions that you can do for practice as well. Other than that, that finishes out for the week. Thanksgiving break is, of course, next week. Even though these have due dates on them for pacing, the actual due date is November 30th. Which is the Monday that we do come back. I do remind you, though, it is so much more enjoyable to spend your Thanksgiving break with your family if you don't have your work hanging over your head. So I strongly encourage you to work hard this week, get everything done by Friday so you can take a true break and enjoy time with those that you love. All right, I will see you guys in class.